Welcome back, everyone. Before we dive into today's powerful story, take a moment to share your thoughts and the lessons you take from it in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoy true stories about betrayal, redemption, and quiet revenge. Now let's begin. Meet Malcolm Grant, a man built by discipline, not dreams. 16 years in construction management had carved him into someone who woke before the sun, moved silently in steel-toed boots, and carried his burdens like they were bricks in his tool belt. Each morning, he'd pass the master bedroom where his wife, Celeste, still slept. Sometimes he'd linger, listening to the gentle rhythm of her breathing, a sound that once calmed him. In the early years, their home in Greensboro, North Carolina, was a sanctuary of laughter, chaos, and love. Their daughter, Betrayal, would race through unfinished rooms, her sneakers coated in paint, while Celeste hummed to old soul records in the kitchen. Malcolm had built that house, every corner of it. What he hadn't built were the seeds of doubt that slowly crept in like cold air from a faulty seal. At first, Celeste's questions about his business seemed harmless, curious inquiries about contracts and crew numbers. But her gaze lingered too long on his ledgers. Her cousin later introduced a man named Julian Price, a polished estate lawyer with a honeyed voice and a reputation for streamlining wealth. Celeste insisted Malcolm let him manage their financial planning. "It's just smart, Mal," she'd whisper, resting a hand on his shoulder. Blinded by loyalty, Malcolm agreed. After all, he wasn't just building homes. He was building a legacy for his family. What he didn't realize was that he'd just handed over the keys to everything he'd built. By year 14 of their marriage, things began to fracture. Malcolm worked longer hours. Celeste laughed less. Their daughter Betrayal, now a teenager, was glued to her phone and vanished behind closed doors. Celeste's touch grew colder, her conversations shorter, her smile distant. Every time Malcolm handed her a contract to file, it felt heavier in his hands. He told himself it was stress, rough patch. But he was wrong. The collapse came quietly. One afternoon, Malcolm came home early. He planned to surprise Celeste. Instead, the house felt hollow. The family photo above the mantel was gone. His high school diploma, the one he framed himself, missing. Even Betrayal's handmade Father's Day mug had vanished. A thick envelope sat on the kitchen counter. Malcolm Grant, private and confidential. Inside was a blade disguised as paper. Divorce papers filed by Celeste. The attorney listed was none other than Julian Price. Within the legal jargon were demands that gutted him. She wanted the house, spousal support, joint savings, even part of his company. She claimed irreconcilable differences. Custody of Betrayal would be court-decided. His hands shook as he read it, but the real pain was Celeste's absence. She wasn't there. The following days were a blur. His business account was frozen. His credit card declined. Julian had moved with the precision of a predator, anticipating every step. In court, he painted Malcolm as unfit, controlling, unreliable, emotionally distant. Celeste sat beside him, silent, unblinking. Even Betrayal, confused and manipulated, stopped responding to her father's messages. Malcolm fought, hired a new attorney, filed motions, but Julian outmaneuvered him every time. Documents vanished, evidence dismissed. The courtroom became a stage, and Malcolm the villain in a story he never wrote. He lost the house, the truck he restored. His contractor's license was suspended under technicalities. Celeste moved into a luxury condo, drove a sleek car, and posted filtered brunches on social media, always smiling. Betrayal appeared in a few pictures. Never tagged her dad. Rock bottom wasn't a moment. It was a season. Malcolm rented cheap motels near job sites. He patched drywall for strangers and laid tile for cash. His world became one of transient rooms, thin walls, and unanswered questions. He trusted too easily, loved too blindly. Never once imagined Celeste would destroy him from the inside. Then, one rainy evening, everything changed. Back at his motel, he found a thick, unmarked envelope slid under his door. Inside. Proof. Emails, transfers, phone logs. Detailed plans between Julian and Celeste. How they'd manipulate the court, select a judge, isolate Betrayal, freeze assets, and divide his company. One file traced a secret account. Another showed Julian had violated attorney-client boundaries and used insider knowledge to gut Malcolm's defense. No signature. But a single clue. A forwarded message from Naomi Price, Julian's wife. They had met twice at family gatherings. She was soft-spoken, observant. Always watching Celeste and Julian laugh too easily together. Her eyes had always held a quiet sadness. She knew. Malcolm didn't contact her. It was too dangerous. Instead, he sent a handwritten thank you note to a P.O. box listed on an old charity envelope in the stack. Just one line. Your truth gave me mine. From there he went to work. Quiet. Strategic. Relentless. He filed an IRS whistleblower report on Julian's unreported income and Celeste's sudden wealth. He sent an ethics complaint to the North Carolina Bar Association, attaching the proof. He tipped off Celeste's employer, a finance firm, about irregularities in her transfers and unauthorized expenses. He didn't yell. He calculated. Over the next few months, the cracks widened. Celeste's firm launched an internal investigation. Julian's name appeared on a misconduct inquiry at the bar. Anonymous packages containing damning photos and off-the-book meetings made their way into the right hands. Malcolm, meanwhile, disappeared, but not into obscurity. He rebuilt under a new name. Andre T. Myers. A one-man renovation firm headquartered above a soul food joint in Raleigh. Naomi, always silent, continued to send him encrypted tips. What jobs to take, which suppliers were shady, who not to trust. He kept everything off-grid. Paid in cash. Worked hard. Quietly bought silent shares in 3 building sites. His reputation grew. Not loud but steady. And then, slowly, the fall came. Celeste was dismissed quietly from her firm under policy violations. Her name was never officially released, but no firm in the region would hire her after. Real estate gigs fizzled. Rumors stuck. Friends disappeared. Julian was suspended pending full investigation. Clients bailed. His firm split. Naomi filed for separation and vanished. No trail, no noise. Just gone. Celeste and Julian clung to each other but had nothing left. Betrayal, hurt and bitter, moved in with an aunt in Atlanta and refused to answer either of their calls. Malcolm never celebrated. He never gloated. He rented a small apartment, paid every bill on time, and built something no one could touch, a life of dignity. Clients respected his work, never asked about his past, and paid in cash. Naomi never reached out again. But every few months another envelope arrived. A lead, a name, a warning. And Malcolm, the man once destroyed, quietly thrived. On the 3rd anniversary of his divorce, Malcolm took a drive. He passed the old house. Courthouse. The condo where Celeste once lived. Then he parked at the empty lot where his dream home once stood. He sat. Let the silence in. He didn't cry. He didn't rage. He just let go. The world never knew what Malcolm endured. No headlines. No justice-served article. Just a man remade through suffering, surviving on integrity, building a quiet empire brick by brick. And that, in the end, was enough. If this story moved you, share your thoughts in the comments. What lesson do you take from Malcolm's journey? Let us know below. And remember, sometimes the strongest revenge is rebuilding better.